It's a way of the Mr. Quickie, oh yeah. What do you want to believe? Think about that for a moment. My journey from Mormonism and religion to secularism and atheism started when I surrendered what I wanted to be true to an idea I absolutely loathed and genuinely feared. People have asked me about the underlying conditions which enabled me to make such a dramatic change in my life. I have a very simple two-part answer. First, I was absolutely convinced that Mormonism was true. I had felt my bosom burn. I had what Mormons call a testimony. That might sound oxymoronic, but that confidence made me fearless, to the extent that I wasn't afraid to look at the other side, believing whatever I found would ultimately match up with what my bosom had confirmed. Second, I really believed in Jesus. Not just Jesus, but the things that he said, the most powerful of which to me was, "The truth shall set you free." If I had to point to just one belief that's guided me since I was a teenager, that would be it. The truth shall set you free. Of course, one of the things you realize very quickly when going down that path is that the truth has no regard for the wants and needs of any individual. To paraphrase Ben Shapiro, the truth doesn't care about, well, you or anything you want. To quote our president, it is what it is. Ironically, while researching this piece, I came upon a comment from Ben Shapiro that suggests just the opposite.
Okay, you have these religious principles. Is there any justification outside of the Bible says so for why this is correct? And as a religious person who's actually thought through his positions, I tend to believe there is. Like, as a religious person, I believe that God didn't create stupid rules. So if you believe that God didn't create stupid rules, then you have to come up with some sort of justification for the rules that are being expressed.
Ben wants to believe that his God didn't create stupid rules. So he's come up with some sort of justification for the rules that are being expressed or were expressed by the tribal war God of Abraham. The question, are the rules created by God stupid, cannot be asked or even considered by Ben. Only one possibility can be true, the one Ben wants to be true. So he will do and say anything after the fact to justify whatever rules are supposedly handed down by his God. I suspect that's one of the reasons Ben is so popular. He's really good at that. Obviously, he's been practicing that skill his entire life. The simple fact is, our brains were not built for truth, scientific or theological. Millions of years of built-up cognitive biases keep us from it. Think of how long it took us to discover the simplicity of the scientific method. Hundreds of thousands of years. It's ridiculous. And why? Because the scientific method is, at its core, about putting our wants aside and simply following the data. We are not a special creation. We are not the center of the universe. An all-powerful being didn't create everything just for us. And we are not even consciously in control of who we are or sometimes what we do. Caring about what's true, what's real, rather than what we want, is one of the most difficult things we can learn to do as human beings. I know that because I've been married and divorced twice. Gentle Ben is right when he says the facts don't care about your feelings. But more importantly, for many people, their feelings don't care about the facts. Reality is almost unbearably unpleasant. And the more we learn, the more unpleasant it appears. Darwin put it this way: what a book a devil's chaplain might write on the clumsy, wasteful, blundering, low, and horridly cruel works of nature. Reality sucks. To dedicate oneself to it means facing that unpleasantness head-on, over and over and over and over again. Wants be damned. One of my heroes, James Randi, who died this week, was more committed to reality than I am, which is why he's one of my heroes. He said this: "I've never involved myself in narcotics of any kind. I don't smoke. I don't drink because that can easily just fuzz the edges of my rationality, fuzz the edges of my reasoning powers, and I want to be as aware as I possibly can. That means giving up a lot of fantasies that might be comforting in some ways, but I'm willing to give that up in order to live in an actually real world, as close as I can get to it. I like to think I've come a long way since my days of being a rabid, born-again Mormon. I'm not always thrilled about the comforting fantasies I've left behind and the reality of the clumsy, wasteful, blundering, low, and horridly cruel works of nature. I've come to embrace that reality, unpleasant as it is, but give up a good indica? I have to confess I'm not quite there yet. I'm sorry, my old friend. I'll miss you terribly. And thanks for watching.
About the tremors, but when I started seeing things, I didn't know what was happening, so I kept it in.
He started believing things that weren't true.
That's an advertisement for a drug to fight the side effects of a particular Parkinson's medication, which can sometimes cause hallucinations and delusions. But I'll bet you know someone who is suffering equally from Christianity, Judaism, Islam, crystals, homeopathy, or that most deadly of infections, Trumpism. Which is why I'm coming to you today to ask you to help me fight this deadly scourge of ignorance, irrationality, and reality denialism. Not to mention the truly horrific hair and makeup. And since times are so extremely difficult right now, I'm going to be doubling all rewards to those signing up to become a patron. That includes all current patrons as well, which means double the blessings, double the lottery numbers, double the secret handshakes. I'll enchant multiple pairs of underwear, flood you with indulgences, and I'll even double the top tier reward, giving those of you who really fork it over not 2, but 4 front row seats to the apocalypse. So don't wait. But wait, if you act now, I'll throw in several chances to make a first impression. You won't find that anywhere else. So head on over to Patreon now. The link is in the description below. But don't wait, because this offer will not last forever. At some point, I'll be dead. So sign up today. And to everyone who's already helped me out in whatever way, thank you, 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 thank you. And if you're someone who knows how to get that anti-delusion medication into the water supply, please contact me immediately. I'll see you next week.